Hello, little ones. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Pinocchio. This happened long, long ago. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a kind old woodcarver named Geppetto. His workshop was filled with clocks that tick-tocked and wooden toys that brought joy to all the children in the village. Geppetto lived all alone, and though he made toys for many children, he had no child of his own. Every night, he would look up at the brightest star in the sky and make the same wish. How I wish I had a little boy of my own. One day, Geppetto found a special piece of wood. It seemed to glow with magic in the soft light of his workshop. With skilled hands and a caring heart, he began to carve. I shall make a puppet boy. I'll call him Pinocchio. Hour after hour, Geppetto carved and sanded. He gave the puppet bright blue eyes, a friendly smile, and a pointed little nose. When he finished, Geppetto was so pleased with his work that he danced around the room with the wooden puppet. "Oh, if only you were a real boy, my little Pinocchio." That night, as Geppetto slept, something magical happened. The same bright star he had wished upon grew brighter and brighter until its light filled the whole workshop. And there, in the starlight, appeared a beautiful blue fairy. Blue Fairy gently spoke up. "Geppetto has brought joy to many children. His kind heart deserves a child of his own. Little puppet made of pine, wake up to life with this gift of mine. Though you are wood, you now can speak. To become a real boy is what you seek." Pinocchio's wooden limbs start to move. "Hello, hello, I can move, I can talk," Blue Fairy replied. "Yes, little one, I have given you life. But remember, to become a real boy, you must prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish. Always let your conscience be your guide." Conscience? What's a conscience? Then a small cricket appeared. Blue Fairy replied, "This is Jiminy Cricket. He will be your conscience and help you make good choices." Then the Blue Fairy disappeared in a shimmer of light. When Geppetto woke up in the morning, he saw Pinocchio walking and talking. He could hardly believe his eyes. A miracle. My wish came true. My little puppet is alive. Pinocchio jumped around and shouting, "Papa, Papa, look at me." Geppetto was so happy that he decided Pinocchio should go to school like all real children. You must learn to read and write if you're to be a real boy. But on his way to school, Pinocchio met some trouble. He didn't know anything about the world. A sly fox named Honest John and his friend Gideon spotted Pinocchio on his way to school. "Look at that! A walking, talking puppet with no strings. We could sell him to Stromboli and be rich. Hello there, young fellow. Are you going to school? How boring. I know something much more exciting. You could be a famous actor in Stromboli's puppet show." Jiminy the Cricket whispered to his ear, "Pinocchio, remember what the Blue Fairy said. You need to go to school." But Pinocchio replied, "Well, I suppose school can wait one day." Poor Pinocchio. He ignored his conscience and went with Honest John to meet Stromboli, the puppet master. At first, being in the puppet show was wonderful. People cheered and clapped for Pinocchio. But after the show, Stromboli showed his true colors. "You make me lots of money, puppet." And he locked the Pinocchio in a bird cage. Pinocchio cried and cried, "I want to go home to Papa. I should have listened to Jiminy Cricket." But then the Blue Fairy appeared by the cage. "Pinocchio, why aren't you in school?" Pinocchio whispered. I was going to school, but I met some people and I got lost." Pinocchio's nose suddenly grows longer. Pinocchio surprised. "What's happening to my nose? Every time you tell a lie, your nose will grow longer. Only the truth will set you free." Then Pinocchio told the truth. "I'm sorry. I didn't go to school. I went to be in a puppet show instead. And now Stromboli won't let me go home." Then Pinocchio's nose returned to normal. Fairy used a magic and unlocked the cage. The truth was hard, but it was right to tell it. "Remember, this is the last time I can help you. Be brave, truthful, and unselfish." Pinocchio promised to go straight home to Geppetto, but once again he was led astray. This time to a place called Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island's coachman calling out, "Come one, come all to Pleasure Island, where boys can do whatever they want, no school, no rules." Jiminy Cricket whispered again to Pinocchio, "I don't like the sound of this." But Pinocchio thought the opposite. "It sounds like fun, and I'll go home right after, I promise. The Pleasure Island has filled with toys, games, and treats. It seems wonderful at first, but there was something strange happening to the boy who had been there too long." Jiminy the Cricket, horrified, and told to Pinocchio, "This is a terrible place. The boys turn into donkeys and are sold to work in the mines. We have to leave now." Then Pinocchio whispered, "Oh no, I'm changing too." Pinocchio and Jiminy escaped just in time. But poor Pinocchio was left with donkey ears and a tail to remind him of his foolish choice. Pinocchio and Jiminy arrived home. "Papa, Papa, I'm home." But Geppetto wasn't there. A message from the Blue Fairy told them that Geppetto had gone to the ocean searching for Pinocchio and was wallowed by a giant whale named Monstro. Pinocchio determined, "We have to save Papa. It's all my fault he's in trouble." Blue Fairy then returned him into normal and told the way to the ocean. Brave Pinocchio dove into the deep ocean, searching for Monstro the whale. Pinocchio being swallowed by whale, he finally found Papa. Inside the whale's belly, it was dark and scary. "My son, you're alive, but now we're both trapped inside the whale." Pinocchio had an idea. "We need to make Monstro sneeze. Let's build a fire." The smoke from the fire tickled Monstro's nose, and, achoo, the whale sneezed so hard that Pinocchio, Geppetto, and Jiminy Cricket were blown out through his spout. They were free from the whale, but now they faced a terrible storm at sea. Waves crashed over their little boat, and Geppetto was too weak to swim. "Hold on to me, Papa. I'll help you get to shore." Pinocchio used all his strength to save Geppetto. Finally, he pushed Geppetto safely onto the beach. But poor Pinocchio was washed away by a giant wave. Geppetto crying and shouted, "Pinocchio, where are you? Please come back." Later that night, Geppetto found Pinocchio and brought him home. The puppet lay very still, as if he were only made of wood again. Geppetto was crying, "My brave little boy, you gave your life to save mine." Then Blue Fairy appeared one last time. "Dry your tears, Geppetto. Pinocchio has proven himself brave, truthful, and unselfish. He risked his life to save yours. There is no greater love than this." Fairy waved her wand to Pinocchio, and then a miracle happened. The wooden puppet began to change. Pinocchio turned into a real boy. "I'm a real boy, I'm real." And so, Pinocchio's dream came true, because in the end, he learned to be brave, truthful, and unselfish. Geppetto got a real son, and then they lived happily ever after.